Al, did you say you're going out to the Western McDonald's tomorrow, Stanley Chasm?
Yeah.
Okay. So tomorrow you'll be on the other side of the river. Two of the best looking dampers I've seen. See, you've got a real touch. Now folks, I'm going to allow you to keep those gloves as a memento of your trip to the This one is a beautiful seed that I've gathered. I spent some time gathering this year. This is another acacia. Up and down the track, this big outback is steeped in history. Now the colour and the character, wildlife and grandeur, all in a world of its own. But you'll never know. You never go. The Northern Territory, that's right, you'll never know. You never go. The Northern Territory, last time you'll never know. You never go. To the Northern Territory.
Found a young one. The tree is actually edible.
Is this a young tree or an old one?
It's only about second stage they are. And they're basically an orangey colour, similar to the tree. Third stage, they're developing into the shape of that small insect. Fourth stage, they're fully developed. They've got a greyish-black colour, and then their wings are a transparent blue. So at some point, there's actually an exit point in this. There's a sack that's attached to the top and the bottom, and it has a button. So once that empties, they'll unplug the coconut.
Australia is a big place, 7.69 million square kilometres big, and with a relatively small population of just over 25 million people. 2/3 of our population live around the regional coastlines, and the remaining third live across rural and remote areas, sometimes more than a 6-hour drive to the closest township. Access to health services can be a real problem. Services that are taken for granted in the city are routinely just not possible outside the metro areas, and this creates real hardship for the families and communities living in the bush.
You can also see a comparison for size of Australia to Europe, and because of that size of the continent, we split our operations up into 4 independent divisions. So here in the Northern Territory, we're part of the Central Operations, and that's the Northern Territory and South Australia. And in that area, we've got 4 bases: Darwin in the north, Adelaide and Port Augusta in the south. And Alice Springs is the oldest of those 4 bases, and that original base now houses our museum. And we've got our original radio equipment and communications room in there for you to have a look at.
Explorer named John McDowell Stewart. He was your first explorer to make it from South Australia to Northern Australia and then back again alive. So once he completed his mapping for Central Australia up to the north, he then handed his maps over to a gentleman called Sir Charles Todd, who then became the project manager of the telegraph line. So he was very famous for connecting all the telegraph stations in Australia. So prior to him connecting Australia to the rest of the world, he actually made the connection from Adelaide to Sydney, Sydney to Melbourne, and things like that. One of the last projects of the telegraph stations was Adelaide over to Perth.